And I'm live, I guess. I'm gonna post this to the and Twitter. Fucking twitchy. So, while I'm getting this started up, let me just say that the reason it didn't start sooner today was because I finally found out what was wrong with my goddamn Columbus Day video, which is apparently the actual original recording of my video was corrupted. So the files didn't work. I had to reshoot a bunch of them. And so I was pretty much just doing that. And I have to completely remix the video and re-release it. So that's fun, but generally, I've been out lately. I wanna say what the sponsors are. This is brought to you by Liberty Under Attack Publications. It's brought to you by great people who do good work. And in this particular case, Liberty Under Attack Publications is a liberty-oriented book publisher who will take care of all of your publishing needs. They will do a full service that is narration, bookbinding, graphics, printing, the whole deal. All of it for 20% off if you tell them Jeremiah sent you. But if you decide you want your next book to be from a liberty-oriented publisher, they're the people you want. Also brought to you by LibertyProfessionals. LibertyProfessionals is private investigation and fucking sorry. Got a lot of messages coming in right now for some reason. Is private investigation, process serving, and more in Virginia. If you need private security consulting, feel free to hit up the people there. They will do a great job. I normally have a script, but it's actually on my phone, but I'm starting that up. So I will do that script for that particular ad fairly soon after the video. But either way, those are the two main sponsors. You can also help this program by donating on Patreon and many other places. I'm very tired. I'm very tired and very distracted. There's a lot that's been going on that's been weighing heavy on my mind, and a lot more that I've been trying to get done in my personal life. This stream is not going to be as long as my normal ones. It's probably going to be about 40 minutes. I do have some issues I'm going to hit though, and pretty hard. I wanted to get this video out to tell you guys why I've been out. General updates primarily. And I've been out helping people in real life. And that's been taking a decent chunk of my time and not giving me anything in terms of payment. So basically, I also had to do some odd jobs. And I'm still not, quite up on next month's rent, but I'm going to figure that out over the next week. It shouldn't be a problem. Either way, the reason that, that's the primary reason I slowed down on the streams, but the secondary reason is I'm shifting priorities. I'm still going to do a daily stream, and it's probably going to be an hour long normally, because I still want to do this interface with my audience. But I want to do this interface with my audience without sacrificing the quality of content. And I've got to tell you, I'm not happy with the streams. And it's not because, they're not doing what they're supposed to. They're interfacing with you guys. It's because I think they're a stopgap measure. I think they get in the way of me putting out the kind of content that would make people interested in a stream, by just the like long hair in the middle of the woods that I've become. Um, I want to start putting out content that I can be really proud of, and I want to start putting out regular videos, things that don't require me to constantly prove my points, because I can just link people to a video. I think I waste a lot of time arguing on social media, and I think that too much of that time is spent telling people they're idiots for believing X source when I could just debunk X source. That's what I was doing with that video. I'm responding to a condescending punk known as No Better, about his pro-Columbus video, where he tried to make it seem like Columbus wasn't the bad guy people said he was. And while my video did get corrupted somehow, I'm still not exactly sure how. I think it probably has to do with the fact that I'm using OBS as my recording software. Maybe it's not quite good for that. But I needed to re-record a bunch of that stuff. That's what I was doing today. So expect that video either tomorrow or Friday, depending on how long it takes my computer to render the file. But basically, I want to start putting out content that you guys can use to bash people over the head with how wrong they are. And if I do, all I'll need to do to tell people that they're wrong is just show them the video. So that's my priority. That's my new priority. Videos and articles. I'm going to start smashing people very directly. So with all that aside, I just wanted to say thank you to the people who are still here, even though my content is sporadic and basically glitchy. Um, if you've been here for years, you know why I'm saying that, because I'll often say I'm going to put something out and then not. And, I've got so many social media posts on the record, but very little in the way of actual solid content. And I need to change that. You guys deserve better. You've been here for way too long for this level of quality. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus more on producing content and less on doing social media, which honestly is a conclusion and an action I should have taken much earlier. All that aside, let's get into today's subject. In this particular case, we're talking Clinton, PragerU, and more. A lot of this stuff is stuff that I can cover quickly, and I wanted it to be that way so that I could effectively do this call in about 30 minutes. I'm going to make a phone call to somebody. But, I'm going to go over this in a little bit sharper detail tomorrow. Same time, the general vibe I've been getting from the left is that, and this isn't like all the left, this is just the mainstream left, is that they'd like Tulsi Gabbard to sit down. And I'm not a Tulsi person. I don't support her. I won't support her, especially since she's got this anti-gun stance. But I feel the need to bring this up. That the way she's been attacked lately has been just so abjectly disconnected. Here's an example of an article against her on Daily Costs, which is a cesspit for those of you who don't already know about it, who have the fortune to not have already been subjected to one of their articles. If you want the horror to not afflict your mind and your soul, please avert your eyes. But this is the Daily Costs, and this is their absolute garbage fire of an article about Tulsi Gabbard. It's by Chris Reeves, apparently a representative or something. And he says it's easy to spot her. and blah blah. Talks about the back and forth she had with Hillary over Hillary insulting her publicly. And she said, "Great. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. You, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long, have finally come up from behind the curtain. From the day I announced my candidacy, there has been a," and she goes on to talk about the general things that have disconnected the party from the people. I'm going to click into this tweet thread so that you guys can see it. She accurately says there's been a concerted campaign to destroy her reputation. If you look at all the Google searches, etc., you'll see she has been suppressed. Again, I'm not supporting her, but the fact that she's suppressed is a matter of public record at this point. She says, "We wondered who was behind it and why. Now we know it was always you, through your proxies and powerful allies in the corporate media and war machine, afraid of the threat I pose. It's now clear that that this primary is between you and me. Don't cowardly hide behind your proxies. Join the race directly." And what she's referring to there is a series of videos and articles that have been essentially trying to say that she's a Russian shill. That she's a foreign operative, or at least playing into their hands, that she's a right-wing plant, that basically all of these things getting in her way, just like they got in Bernie's way. And she's pushing back, accurately calling Clinton the warmonger that Clinton is, that the Clinton family are. So let me hit this. I'm just going to bring up this tweet that I made about this subject before I continue to read about this particular guy. The tweet that I made on this subject is posted on the 19th of October, and I said, so, and this is, by the way, the reason David Duke, I guess, supports Tulsi in some way. And the entire media trended David Duke in opposition to Tulsi Gabbard because David Duke endorsed her. And I guess that's enough reason to trend a subject and tar somebody's reputation. My tweet was as follows. So, the Clintons can bomb pharmaceutical factories, slaughter innocents in Noble Anvil, loot Haiti with their foundation, call black kids super predators, schmooze with Orval Faubus, dilute black voting districts, but Tulsi's the racist fave because of David Duke? Okay. So that was my tweet. And I want to go over a few of these things. And I don't have time to pull up every single article necessary. These are all matters of public record. The Clintons were sued for diluting black voting districts. They were sued. I think they were sued as part of the government. It was versus a state. It was Jeffers versus something, and I can't remember what it is right now. They had Orval Faubus, noted segregationist, who was literally the guy who blocked the Little Rock Five, I think it was. And they had him in the White House, talking positively with Bill. She called black kids super predators because, I guess normal predators not a bad enough insult. You've got to call these particular people super predators. Well, fantastic. Yeah. Bring them to heel, too, was another thing. She got to loot Haiti after an earthquake. A bunch of funds that were supposed to go to Haiti just aren't accounted for. Bill Clinton got to bomb Serbia in Noble Anvil. And people are almost only just now talking about this as a war crime that it is. Because, the Clintons are starting to rear their ugly heads again. And By ugly, I mean desperately ugly, um, demonically ugly. These people are despicable. And that's not even to get to the worst, which I bring up consistently, which is the bombing of Al Shifa pharmaceutical factory in Sudan, which Clinton claimed was full of WMDs with no proof, just relying on hearsay, and resultant deaths are sometimes estimated to be 30,000 people who no longer had access to the medicines that they needed to prevent life-threatening conditions and normal conditions that can be prevented from turning into fatal conditions. They didn't have the medicine they needed to live, and thousands died. But it's okay to actually kill brown people, as long as you're not talking about like David Duke endorsing it. As long as David Duke doesn't rubber stamp it, it's okay to do. It's not racism, I guess. I don't know why these people insist on revising history when it's just a Google search away, but I hope everybody searches these things because they're awful. I went on to say, no, I'm not with Tulsi, much less cultish tags like I am Tulsi. But I am fully aware that the right has been weaponized against the left and vice versa. As someone who's also been falsely accused of being alt-right, I sympathize with what she's going through. Not good. That was my take. And the only pushback at all I got was from a guy named Imani, I guess. And he says, I am Tulsi as a hashtag of support, not cultish propaganda. It's bottom to top, not left to right or vice versa. And I'm, whatever. He doesn't get that I'm making a statism reference. But either way, I just thought I'd go over the fact that if anybody's the racist in that dichotomy, it's the person killing brown people. It's the person calling them super predators. It's the person schmoozing with a guy who tried to block people from getting into a school because of their skin color. I just... What? Look up Jeffers. Look up the Clintons and their fucking terrible record with black people. And then tell me that Tulsi's the problem because David Duke likes her. Yeah, that's thin as fuck. But anyway, I just thought I'd go over that because this Daily Cost article is absolute AIDS. What he says in this particular case is... I don't know how the Daily Costs can continue to justify making these mass drives for funding, which is, I would say, about an eighth of their emails to people is please give us funds. Because the article insinuates that unless you have a formal declaration of war, you're not going to war. And that means that Bush wasn't a warmonger, right? Because he didn't make a formal declaration of war with any country. Hell, the Iraq war wasn't even really a war. He had a status of forces agreement that, hell, Obama tried to extend with, I think, Hillary at the time as his Secretary of Defense. Bush just had a status of forces agreement, which says we'll keep people in for X amount of time and then pull them out after they've served our purpose. Like, I guess if you use the neocon version of war, where it doesn't qualify if there's no Congress approval, then I guess it qualifies. I guess you can say Hillary's not a warmonger. But if you look at this, like, factually, these are wars. They would have been called wars under any other circumstance. Bush, Obama, everybody affiliated with them at the time, they're warmongers. And for this guy to make that point is just so fucking asinine that I had to bring it up. So, those aside, and here's a fun exercise if you guys want to piss some people off. Uh, Team Kamala decided to try for the same bullshit appeal to emotion that Hillary did during her campaign by posting this image and saying, "Our next president, happy birthday, Kamala." So I decided to take this same image that they posted with no expectation that anybody would say otherwise, and just use it for a bit of a bit of memeing. And this was the result of that. Let me see if I can shrink this down. I'm Kamala Harris. I criminalized truancy so poor parents could be fined and jailed if their kid wasn't in school. That was in 2011, I think. I'm Kamala Harris. I blocked police accountability measures by not taking a position on body cams and stifling a bill supporting the investigation of police using deadly force. And then finally, I'm Kamala Harris. I put innocents in prison and blocked measures keeping nonviolent offenders out of the prison system. Just a few. And that's just a bit of her record on poor execution of duties. That is, if she's truly a progressive, which I wouldn't say she qualifies. She's another example of blue on the surface, red underneath. She has policies that differ wildly from her liberal claims, and anybody who knows her record can tell you that. It's why they were happy when Tulsi dragged her, because she should be dragged through a street behind a cart. Rhetorically, of course. I can't make threats against people, but I just thought I'd bring that up. I thought I'd bring all of this up because people's records are what matter, not their stated goals, not anything like that. Their records are what matters. And because, it doesn't matter how many times one person says it, it can go off the record. What it requires for this to spread is for people like you, dear listener, to spread this video, because I might be being censored by Twitter. And if one starts to censor you, they'll probably all follow suit. So this is my proof that Twitter might be censoring me. And there are a couple replies that actually make me feel marginally better about it. But I went to my social blade and checked it out. And I said, okay, so I noticed something extremely fucked. On Sunday, Twitter claims I deleted 74 tweets. This is a lie. I don't go on mass deletion sprees. Never have, but there it is. I just assumed I pissed people off, but if Twitter's deleting my tweets, they might have forced unfollows. And here's Social Blade telling me that 74 tweets are now gone. And that's just a negative 74. Since I don't know how many times I tweeted on that day, I don't know what that negative really is. It could be much higher. But if that's the case, I'm being directly censored by Twitter. Now, a couple of people have brought up some interesting counterpoints. And I wanted to bring these up just so that I wasn't fear-mongering. Bill says, I'm pretty sure those numbers are BS. My Twitter client catches all the tweets it receives, so I get the Twitter IDs from all your tweets and that got here in October 8/21 and referenced them. I got back all but 3 of the 464 tweets I had received. So I hope he's right. I hope nothing got directly deleted. But what this other guy says is, and this is something that has happened to me, so it seems to confirm what these other people were saying. Twitter introduced this stupid-ass thing where it unretweets some stuff you retweeted after a while. It might be that. And I said, okay, that's actually an ace explanation. I feel marginally better now, because I did. If all it did is unretweet things rather than directly, interfering with the things that I've said, that's actually much better. But just spread this stuff. It doesn't have to be my video. It doesn't have to be any of it. Just know the facts and spread them. Like this, you know? Like, I got responded to on anti-pedo action, which I'm going to be reforming in Keybase. If you decide you want to be a part of that, just follow the instructions on screen and message the account. All you have to do is follow those instructions, and I'll see about adding you to the new chat. But that's the new thing. We're going to be doing it that way because I can't afford the Freedom Box yet, and that's basically what I would have to do to host a Riot instance credibly. But all that aside, uh, get on Keybase, verify your account through an official site or social media, DM this account or a known admin, and admins will obtain your consent to the same rules as the Discord, will review your account, and make a judgment welcome. So just know that. We're coming back. And we're coming back on a platform that doesn't appear to kick people off for asinine lies. But when I was bringing up some terrible people this morning, I was responded to by somebody who said that it was entrapment to pretend to be a minor, and try to get a pedo to admit that they want to fuck a minor and make plans to do so. I said that that's absolutely untrue. So I wanted to go over this. If you decide you want to join because you want to do stuff like that, private citizens can't entrap someone if not given inclusion in government investigations. Entrapment is a legal government term. You can look this up on NOLO. Lying to expose a criminal is not entrapment. Lying is in fact regularly used to expose criminals. In fact, Hansen does that on a regular basis. So if anyone was going to prison for it, he would be the guy going to prison. This is basic intimidation. If a government official tells you that you can't do what he did, they're lying to you. And entrapment only occurs when a government asset convinces someone to commit a crime they otherwise would not have. I said this in order to say, if you want to expose a pedo by pretending to be a child so they admit they want to fuck kids and make plans for it to take place with, quote, you, it's not entrapment under any circumstance. Because it came up in a convo today, so I thought I'd destroy some entrapment myths. You can look this up. This is law. So if you decide you want to come in and help us organize some actions against these people, because they are massively infiltrated into government, feel free. We need all the help we can get, and the more we have in this server, the more powerful we will become. So feel free to help if you decide you want to. But this all brings me to this bullshit right here, which is PragerU making this tweet saying that Asia and Africa account for 95% of plastic pollution in oceans. Europe and North and South America and Australia account for 5%. America's straws account for less than 0.03%. Fewer plastic straws won't lead to cleaner oceans. Improvements in Asia and Africa will. I hate these people on a very deep and personal level. They get the credibility of a university without any of the work, because this is a lie. And when I pointed this out by saying, did you know? This is bullshit. The study the number is from is about riverine waste, which isn't even most ocean waste. And the world ships a lot of waste there. Did you know? PragerU is neither a university, nor do they have to make factual claims, which is why they don't. So that was a sarcastic response, and I get that. It's going to get some people's hackles up. So I just thought I'd go through one of the responses to this. Which is from We Are Worthy, Big Worthy on Twitter. He says, did you know? Insanity is free is talking bullshit too. The study he's knocking looked at 57 major rivers, and 90 to 95% did flow from Asian or African rivers. So I posted this reply, because, I was irritated. 90 to 95% of the trash that flowed from rivers flowed from there. Riverine trash. I'm not wrong, and my numbers aren't bullshit. The study also didn't compare riverine trash to the rest of it. So, no, 95% of ocean pollution doesn't come from Asian and African rivers. It's bullshit. He says, at the moment, 90+% of plastic is flowing from the three countries with nearly 2/3 of the world's population. How is that hard to believe they are now the greatest polluters? I didn't notice that they said the world's oceans. My bad, dude. I'm just a pissed off Brit today. Yeah, and I get that. I just thought I'd bring this up as a conversation starter for other people. But the I said I'd be the last person to criticize being angry, but the quote goes, for years, China had imported millions of tons of recyclable waste from overseas, but a growing recycling burden at home prompted the government to shift its policy. And it came from an article that the Davos number he cites comes from. So I thought I'd just sort of go over this fact, just to give people impetus to look into information before reposting it. Because the information that he gave was only very limited, and it was only related to a study that PragerU had already falsely used. So I thought I'd go over that. Anyway, all of this is basically just me recapping a few things that I've already gone over elsewhere. If you want to follow me on these social networks, feel free. But like I said, this will only continue with your help. And like I said, it doesn't even need to be sharing this video, because this video is not the only video. These facts aren't only coming from me. So feel free to share this with as many people as you know, but also feel free to share this information without this video at all. I don't need to be involved. I just want to know that the information I'm putting out there is getting to the right people. So I wanna leave this video with this one last thing. I wanna go over a claim that I responded to from Nicholas Sarwark, the existing Libertarian Party chair, where he said something so laughably implicatively stupid that I thought I'd respond with just a plank from the Libertarian Party platform. This is that. He said, American anti-interventionism is popular with foreign governments that would like to do their own interventionism. So I said, hey, fraud. The United States government should both avoid entangling alliances and abandon its attempt to act as a policeman for the world. LP National Platform 2018. Sometimes it really is that easy. Sometimes all you need to do to counter somebody's claim is show that at root they're betraying their principles. And in this case, that's exactly what he was doing. So don't betray your principles. Don't betray anyone or anything that you would hold dear in an apocalypse, or if the state wasn't there to watch over you. This is your chance to prove that you are better. Don't be Nicholas Sarwark. That's my point. Anyway, this is the ad read. One moment. Liberty Professionals will help you secure your home, small business, and life. It's run by a residential security expert who is an ACES board-certified physical security professional. He has all the necessary tools in his toolbox to bring you peace of mind and stability for the future. And if you need work done in the Virginia area, they do missing persons investigations, skip tracing, and more. Contact them for more info. Support Liberty businesses and these streams by heading over to LibertyProfessionals.com to get your consult today. Anyway, this is a super informal stream, and I know I'm going to get jokes about the drugs people will claim I'm on. It's just caffeine, I promise. But the effect of this stream, all I wanted to do is update, because there's a lot more I'm going to discuss. And it's basically going to be every day in the afternoon Pacific time. So look for this stream tomorrow, probably at around either 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to check the chat to see if there's anything anybody wanted to say. Liberty Thunder says, what's up? The American Debt. Based says, it's like Coca-Cola and Pepsi's, both dark sodas, just slightly different flavors. Yep, absolutely. And from the same grain, cut from the same cloth, benefiting the same essential people. Sean versus Planet says, get the fucking truth out now. Exactly. Based says, LOL WTF, catfishing pedos. Yeah, you are allowed to do that. And I hope people do, because it's one of the best ways to catch them. And it proves that they're not one of these anti-contact virtuous pedophiles that plenty of people have been trying to claim exist, even though fucking that's asinine trash. Based says, it looks worse in poorer countries because they don't recycle. Maybe. I don't know that they don't recycle, and I do know that a lot of Westerners don't recycle either. Sean says, that chick sucks. Yeah, Kamala. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sarwark chick. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Fucking... Anyway. This stream is going to be relatively short. If there's anything you want me to address before I hang up, feel free. But come back tomorrow at around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will have a new stream that's actually going to be closer to the normal length, but probably still an hour or under, because I'm going to try and put out regular, really high-quality content. I'm going to try and finally earn the support that I've gotten, because I don't think I've earned it. But if you guys want to help me, if you guys think I do earn it, feel free to support me with any of the links in the description. All that aside, thank you for showing up and being here and constantly replying to my content, because it's about to get a lot better. Anyway, be well. Smash the state.